Best way to create a chatbot with memory using C#. In this video, we're going to cover how to use OpenAI library in .NET to create a chatbot with different conversations and memory for each one. This is a Windows Phone project that we created in our previous videos. So if you haven't watched them, it's okay. We just created a Windows form with some user interface that user can see the chats and add a new chat or a new message to the chat. So in this video, we're going to talk about how to give memory and work with AI using OpenAI client, OpenAI SDK in C#. So because we want to focus on the SDK, I'm going to create a new console application and create the code there, and then we will move them to our Windows Phone application. So I'm going to add a new project. It's a console application. I'm say chatbot.console. I'm going to create a project. Okay, this is my main program. Let's actually rename this to consoles because I had an error here. You couldn't find it. Just rename the namespace. So we need some NuGet packages here. I've copied them and I paste them here. You can see that I'm installing Microsoft extensions configuration and configuration.user secrets. Where do we use this? I want to add some user secrets to the application, so we're not going to hard code our API key and our model name. We'll just see in a few minutes. And I've added the OpenAI package here. Actually, they should be in an item group. Yes. So the error must be fixed now. Yes, I'm going to build my project. So the dependencies are installed, the NuGet packages are installed. Let's wait a few seconds. That's all. Back into my program.cs. I'm going to load the configurations here. So I'm going to say var configuration is a new configuration builder that's add user secrets. I'm going to pass program class here, and that's build. So now we have our configurations. I'm going to say var API key is configuration with name of OpenAI API key, and var model name is configuration OpenAI model name. Okay, this is my API model name. Actually, to make them work, we need to add the user secrets in the developer PowerShell. We need to write commands for that, and it's going to handle. As you can see, I've tested it before recording the video, and they are here. So I'm going to clear it, and let's create a new PowerShell. So I make sure that you're not going to miss anything. Okay, we are in our solution directory, but I don't want to add them in the solution. I'm going to add them in my project. So I'm going to say cd chatbot.console. Now we are in the project directory. And first of all, I'm going to say .NET user-secrets init. So now we're going to set each one. Because I will need to copy them later, I'm going to comment them here, comment the code here, so you can actually copy and paste it for yourself when you clone the GitHub project. .NET user-secrets sets OpenAI API key, and I'm going to paste my API key here, which is this guy. And for the model name, I'm going to say .NET user-secrets set OpenAI model name to GPT-4o. So this is the model name that we're going to use in this project. GPT-4o is a great model for coding. And you can get the OpenAI API key from platforms.openai.com. Now we need to set up our OpenAI clients. I say OpenAI clients is a new OpenAI clients. As you can see, the constructor needs an API key from me. I'm going to pass it to that. So let's talk about something here. To be able to call the LLM via OpenAI SDK in .NET, we need to work with OpenAI clients and OpenAI assistance clients. There are some words that you're going to hear a lot in this video: threads and run. Well, look at thread as a conversation. Each of our conversation is a thread. So inside each thread, we have multiple chat messages. Okay, they could be from user or from the system. By system, I mean the assistants, or even tools. We can call tools, we can create images, or do many things, many great things that we're going to cover some of them in this tutorial. And inside each chat message, we have multiple contents. You know, a message can have a prompt, a text, which is a content. It can have an image or multiple images. When we write the code, you can easily find them out. I just wanted to talk about it so you're familiar with these words and these concepts. Now I need my OpenAI assistant clients. Come on. This is it. Assistant clients. I'm going to say assistants clients. And I'm going to get it by clients that gets assistants client. It is a model name from me. I'm going to pass model name. Why isn't it working? You can see that we're getting an error. It says it doesn't get one argument. Why? Okay, it doesn't need a parameter, but you can see that we are getting OpenAI 001 error. So I'm going to say sharp pragma warning disable, and I'm going to say OpenAI 001. Actually, this method is for evaluation purposes only, and I've just disabled the warning using this line of code. Okay, we have our assistance clients. Now we're going to create our first thread and run it. But before that, we need our assistants. Okay, so I'm going to say assistants with name of assistant is a new assistant. What parameters do you want from me? It says we cannot create a new instance of that. Okay, I'm going to say assistant client that create assistant async. As you can see, it has two constructors. I want to use the second one. It gets a model name from me, and actually assistant creation options, because this is very important and useful. I'm going to say, we're going to fix errors later. I'm going to say vary assistant creation options is equals new assistant creation options. And now I can pass some property to that. For example, what is the name of the assistant? And actually remember that you can create the assistants in the platform that openai.com as well using a GUI. This is it. Here, you see that I have multiple assistants here. Most of them are with the same name that we're going to solve them in the video, but we're going to handle it via API right now. So the name would be our cool AI assistants. It has some instructions. What is the instructions? The instruction is it's like a system prompt to the LLM. It knows what should it do, and the user is not going to see that. I'm going to say you are a cool assistant from Spain, and you are a Real Madrid fan. Okay. You can see that we can add descriptions, metadata, temperature, but one of the most important things that we can see here are tools and tool resources. We're not going to get through that in this video, but we can add some tools, for example, image generation, or even our MCP tools, our own functions here. And the LLM can call them, which is perfect, which is a great option for us when creating AI applications with C#. So that's it. And I'm going to pass the assistant creation options. Here, let's see what is the problem. Okay, make it var because it's async as a problem must be gone. It's not. Oh, sorry. Static async task. Yes, and let's get the assistance again. Okay, now we have our assistant. So I'm going to create a thread. I'm going to say, actually creating the thread has some options as well. Remember that I've told you a thread is our conversation. So if we have 2 threads, it's like we have 2 conversations with the LLM. I'm going to say thread creation options and name it thread creation options is a new options. It's really cool. We can add some tool resources and our initial messages. What is an initial message? Initial message is the first message of a thread. So when we start it, we can add a default message for that. I'm going to say initial messages. For now, I'm going to say hi to the user and welcome, or welcome the user. Say welcome to the user. Okay, this is our initial message. It's like a first message for us. Now I'm going to say var thread run is await assistant clients that thread run async. What is it? It's going to create a thread for us and run it. To be able to get the results and answers from thread, we need to run them. Okay, so I'm going to create the thread and run it. It's like a function that does 2 functions for us, does 2 operations for us. Okay, you can see that the second constructor needs an assistant ID from us. I'm going to say assistant.id, and I'm going to pass the thread creation options as the options. And you can see that the result is a thread run. Okay, but can we now get the results and responses from that? No, because it may be incompleted. Look at here. I want to make sure that it's completed. So I'm going to say while thread run, oh my god, dot status is not completed, run status not completed, and I make it a do while. So do these things while thread run that status is not completed. Okay, I'm going to wait for thread that's sleep 1000 milliseconds, which is 1 second, and I'm going to check that is the thread finished or not. I'm going to say await assistant client get run async. It needs a thread ID, which I'm going to get it from thread run, the thread ID, and a run ID, which is from thread run dot ID, and let's forget about the cancellation token. So every 1 second we're getting the thread run again, and when it's completed, we're going to the next step. Now we have created a conversation and added our first message, and the LLM has answered us with 1 or more messages. So now I need to load the messages and show it to the user. What I'm going to do is create another function. Let's say static async task load messages, and in that I'm going to clear the console and show the full chat history here just for simplicity, because we're not going to make it harder and make it more user friendly, like visual effects or front end or beautiful things. I'm not going to do that. We just want to focus on how to use the technology. So I need my assistant client, which is assistant client, and we're going to check out, do we need other things as well. So I'm going to say var messages is await assistant client dot gets messages async. Let's see what parameters do we need to pass to it. It gets a thread ID and an options. Okay, I'm going to get a string thread ID as parameter, and I pass it to it. Does it gonna work? Yes, it does. But we can add some extra options to it. For example, we can filter, or we can change the order. We can change the sort by ascending or descending, and much more things. Look at here. I'm saying, what is the name of the class? Message collection options. I'm going to say message collection options equals new message collection options, and you can see that it has 4 properties. I'm going to set the order to ascending. Yes. And after ID and before ID are so useful. For example, if you only want to load the new messages, you need to get the last message ID. You have it when you create it. You can see it in the next parts of the video, and you just pass it to the after ID. So it's going to load messages that have sent after that message, and IDs are a string here. Okay, that's gonna work for us, and I'm going to say options. Now we're going to loop on these messages. I'm going to say await for each var message and messages. You may see some kind of delays in my system. I'm sorry for that. This is the message, and I'm going to say console.writeLine message.roll dots to a string because it's an enum, and dots to upper. So I'm going to print the role. You remember that I said each message can have multiple contents? Yes. So I'm going to loop on the contents of the image. Let's say for each var content in message dot contents console.writeLine contents dot text. Okay, now we have printed the messages, and we said, is it user or it is system? We can filter by them. And the last thing to know is contents may contain some images as well. They have an image file ID property, so you need to download them from OpenAI and just show them. It's another tutorial. We're not going to cover it in this session, but if you like, please tell us in the comments below. We'll probably create the video for you. That's all. I think we are finished for loading the messages, and I just say await load messages. I pass assistant clients and thread run dot thread ID. So, and here we should say console does clear because we're loading all of the messages, so we need to clear the context, the console. Okay. The next thing that we're gonna do is user needs to chat with this application forever, infinite. If you want to add some filters or I don't know, some features that doesn't let the user, we can handle it. But in this video, we're going to let it to chat as much as this one. I'm going to say while true, I get the user prompt from console.readline Okay, and what we're going to do, our next step is to send the user message to the LLM. So I'm going to say await var send user message response is await assistant clients. Oops. Assistant clients that send. There is no send message client. Oh, create message async. I'm sorry. Create message async. So it needs a thread ID from us and a message role and enumerable message contents. So I'm going to say thread run the thread ID. The role is going to be message role that's user, and let's add the contents. Var contents, new list of message contents, and I'm going to say let's say user prompt. So I've added one message content into the list, and I'm passing it to the LLM, to the create message async function. So what is the result of that? It's a thread message. You can get the message ID in the thread message from here if you want to filter based on that. And now I need to rerun this the thread, because you say we need to run the threads to make them work. So I'm going to say var run await assistant clients that's run async, create run async. As you can see, the second constructor needs a thread ID and an assistant ID, which comes from assistant. That ID we can pass some run creation options. I'm not going to do that right now. And this run is exactly like this one. So I just copy and paste it. They're both some runs. Okay? And I'm going to make sure that it's finished. Let's change the properties, and that's all. Now our message is sent. Now I'm going to say await load messages and say run the thread ID, and after the initialization, I'm going to call load messages again. Let's review what we did. We created our OpenAI clients, assistant clients. Now we've created our we created our thread and run it at the first time, which contains our initial message. Then every time a user sends us a message, we're creating a user message, running the thread again, and loading the full conversation. Let's change it and set it to the startup project. Let's see, is it gonna work or not? Oops, it looks like we have an error. Oh, it says the value cannot be null. It's like that we haven't set our user secrets. Oh, I think I've just write the codes, but I haven't copied them in PowerShell. Let's do them together. We go here. Yes, we haven't done that. cd chatbot.console. Are we that? Let's create a new PowerShell. Clear cd chatbot.console. Okay. I remember that we have done that. I'm not sure. Okay, it saved the OpenAI API key, and the code is same as here. And let's paste this one as well. I'm going to run the application again. Okay, we're getting another error. That says value cannot be null, parameter model. So let's check it out. It's OpenAI model name. Oh, we have a typo here. We have a typo here. That's why we're getting the error. And that's why we need to copy paste these configurations. Let's just start the application. Okay, you see, it says say welcome to the user, and we've created as a user message, initialized message, and the assistant says, hold up, I don't know, I know Spanish. I just know the Hala Madrid. I'm not understanding the Spanish one. I'm going to say talk English. Or it's better to say speak English. We're going to wait for the answer of that. The console is cleared. The messages are loading. And you can see that hello and welcome. I hope you're having a great day. How can I assist you today? So it's working. Let's check it out. Does it remember our previous messages and does it have a memory or not? Of course it does, because we're sending the messages in the same thread and we're loading the same thread messages. If we change the thread ID, it's not going to remember it, or we need to pull the data from that thread or add it manually. Okay, so make sure that each thread is like a conversation. I'm going to say I'm Sean. That's all. Let's wait for its response. It says, nice to meet you, Sean. How can I assist you today? I'm saying, what is my name? If it remembers the previous messages, I can say that it can say that my name is Sean. If it doesn't, you will need to debug it. The last message is your name is Sean. Thank you very much. So we have created a chat app using console that is just remembering us and remembering the previous messages. And we're using a great approach for that using OpenAI assistants. But we're going to integrate it with our Windows Form application. So we're going to use in our Windows Form application. Okay. If you haven't watched the previous videos of this, we have created a Windows Form application, a UI for that. And we have used different methods and strategies for giving memory to the ChatGPT. But if you're watching this video, you don't need to watch those videos. We have created 2 entities and configured them in SQL Server. That's all. Okay. First of all, we need to install these packages in our Windows Form application. I just set that to start up again. I get here. You can see that OpenAI is already installed. Okay, I'm going to paste them here. So remember that here we had these entities. Where is it? Models. Chat and chat messages. If you want, you can just call them from OpenAI and do not store them in your application, but I prefer to have the data in my own application because I may need some analytics on that or something else, but it depends on you as the software engineer of the application. So here we need to save the thread ID in our chat because we need it for loading it from OpenAI and adding a new message. So, and I make it nullable. The reason to make it nullable is I have some data in my database and I want to keep them. Okay, if I make it required, the EF core is going to get me some errors. Okay, or we can just let's do the best thing for this. I'm going to remove my migrations. And here, I'm going to change it to 3. I'm going to create a new database. Okay, so I'm just like you in this video. We have the thread ID here. Let's go to our forms. Here I have a main form. You can see that we are loading the chats here. The title and create it, and we're creating a new chat whenever a user wants. Okay, so when I click on send, you can see that it's creating chats. Okay, but in our own database. In the previous video, we have used this method to integrate with OpenAI, but we're not going to use that way anymore. So I need my codes here. First of all, I'm going to load the configuration and the assistant clients just here. Okay, yes, add the usings. And instead of program.cs, I'm going to say main form. So before we forget that, I'm going to add them here again because we are in a new project, so we need to add the user secrets. Again, create a new developer PowerShell. Here I'm going to say cd AI chatbot with C#, .NET user dash secrets init, .NET, or let's just simply copy and paste them. Come on. And we're going to do the same thing for the model name as well. Okay, but here we are creating our assistants again. Why? We need one assistant for each project, and we're doing it because we want to have different names and different instructions for them. We just need one assistant. So we think that we have created our assistant, and we're just getting the ID and loading the assistant based on its ID. When you go to the classroom.openai.com, or even inside the code from assistant.id, you can get its ID. It's in a string. Okay, I'm going to hard code it here. I'm going to say private read-only assistant's ID is, I think, which one is it? I couldn't find it. I got to OpenAI websites. You can see that this is our cool AI assistant, and this is its ID. I've copied that by double clicking on it, and I just simply paste it here. Well, you can check that if it doesn't exist, create a new assistant, save it in the database or whatever you want. It's based on your own needs, but for now I'm going to do this one. And here, instead of saying create assistant async, I'm going to say assistant equals await assistant clients get assistant async, and I pass the ID to that. So we have our assistant ready. I'm going to create a new thread here based on the user prompt, and the initial message becomes user prompt. Okay, because we have the prompts. Okay. So here, our thread ID becomes thread run dot thread ID, and here you can see that I'm adding a user message. It's okay, I just want to keep it. But in the system message, I need the answer of AI. So what should I do? I need to load the messages like this. And loop on them. I'm going to create a system message for each message content that is going to give me. So I say var messages, the thread ID comes from thread run, the thread ID, and it's going to be my system message. The message is going to come from contents that's text, and I'm going to add it to the database. Add async system message. We are summarizing it. I don't want to summarize it again anymore. I just make it to string.empty, and I'm going to remove this one. Okay, we are loading the messages, but the problem is we are loading all of the messages. I don't want to load the user message anymore. So here we need to filter by after ID. It needs the message ID. I think we can get it from thread run. That message ID. Well, the ID is going to be run ID. Or we can do something else. Here, I'm going to say f contents.roll f message.roll is assistance. Just continue. Is not assistance, just continue, because we only need the assistance messages here, and we're going to save the changes. So we've got our system messages and we've sent the user message. The next step is to go to the chat history form. We're loading the data from our own database because we are saving the same messages there. And when clicking on send, I need to do the exact same things here as well. Of course, you can create a function for that. So you're going to reduce duplicate code, which is great actually, but we're going to save time and just copy and paste them. I paste it here. Let's copy these guys in the create chat media and click function. And okay. So we do not need to create the thread again. You remember? We do not need to do that. I'll just get here and say this one. Yes, I'm going to paste this one. We're going to add a message. Okay, we're creating a message, then running the thread, getting run async. Okay, do we have it 2 times here? While I'm going to remove this one. Oh, I pasted in main form. Such a big mistake. We need to paste it in the chat history form. Okay, exactly here. And because we do not have the thread run here, I'm going to load the thread ID from chats. The thread ID, we get the chat here from our context, and we have the thread ID property there. That's why we saved it. Okay, everything is fine. Getting run async. We have added the user message, and now we're going to add the system prompt. The exact same thing that we have done here. I'm going to copy and paste these codes. Do this, remove this, and actually, I said I don't want to summarize it anymore. Chat.thread ID. But this time, I have the message ID, so I'm going to filter it by user message messages that are after the user message ID. So I'm going to say send user message response that's value dot ID. This ID is the message ID. So I'm going to load the messages that are after that, and we have an additional check here to just load the assistant, but it's not required anymore, so we can remove it. We're adding the system messages, and finally loading the messages again. Let's test our application. Of course, before testing, we need to add the migration. I'm going to say clear, add migration inits, updating my database. I got an error that says there's an already object named chat in the database. I think I have a database with that name. So I'm going to change these two for multiple versions of a video. Update the database. That's all. Let's say, hey, Are we going to get some errors or not? Okay, the given key wasn't present. Send message to AI. Where are we using this one? Oh, it's our old code, but I don't know why is it getting error. We are setting a title from AI for our chats. I'm just going to comment it here because it's not what we're talking about. Let's comment it to a string.empty and check it again. It wasn't related to this video, so we just ignored it. The best way to solve a bug maybe is commenting it. Hey, I just want to say I'm Sean. Okay, this is our chat history form, and you can see that based on our system prompts, our instructions text, it knows that it is talking Spanish to me. I say, speak English and say my name. Is it going to say my name? Of course, it has a memory. Of course, John. That's all. It's working. So what we need to do is if you wanted to use these codes, please refactor them. And if you'd like to share it with me, I would be really happy to see your code. So we're going to refactor these codes and make sure that we're not having duplicate codes in the project, because we currently have duplicate codes in our main form and our chat history form. Imagine that we're going to add a new form and we're going to copy and paste these codes again and again and again, and when we need to change it everywhere. It's so hard and it's not solid. A great software engineer never do that. We have reached it in this way just because it's a YouTube video. And thank you. Thanks for watching. It's working perfectly, exactly like what we wanted and exactly like ChatGPT or any other LLM desktop application. Please share your ideas and comments below. Thanks for watching.